Okay. Where do you store your recordings?
So I'll put this on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is what channel is that? I know we had two going at one time.
So it's the KW First Atlanta channel.
Okay.
On my email that I send out on Friday afternoons, usually there I include a link to the
Okay.
KW First Atlanta YouTube channel because there is two First Atlanta YouTube channels. One's from like a team leader a couple of years ago that we can't get access to remove.
Gotcha. So KW First Atlanta YouTube.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. So as we're going through here, ask whatever questions you have. I mean, it's just you and I this morning. So let me know what I can do and what I can show you. So I'll just kind of walk through my normal Take Command O1 training. And then as you have questions or need anything, just let me know.
Okay.
So to get started with Command, I recommend that you go to agent.kw.com. That's going to be your login. Now you can get to Command from a handful of different places, but agent.kw.com is going to be the easiest way to get there. And I recommend that you always use Google Chrome for Command. Google is our back-end developer partner, and everything is built to work optimally in Google Chrome. If you use Internet Explorer, Firefox, or Safari, most of this stuff will work, kind of, but then you end up starting to getting error messages, and things won't work. So always use Google Chrome, and then go to agent.kw, and it'll have you log in. I've already logged in. And then in the bottom, click Accept Cookies. So this is your
I
home
know,
page.
I'm
Sorry, go
sorry.
ahead.
I noticed that. Thank you for telling me about the agent.kw.com. I usually go in just through my KW
Uh-huh.
technology and command, and I've noticed sometimes command is missing. Like it just kind of goes away sometimes.
Yeah. Yes, I guess in the last couple of days or last week, they removed the link from technology. I don't know why. I do know that the long-term vision is to migrate everything from my KW over to the Command Connect platform.
Gotcha.
So I think that
Okay.
would be one step in that direction, but that I'm not sure.
Okay.
So here on the home screen, there's a lot of information. So I want to walk through the layout of Command before we jump into what each thing is.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're on your home screen here, in the top, we have our Command, which is going to let us know that we are in the CRM function of Command. To the right, we have Connect, and we'll walk through that in just a minute. And that's going to be more of our social media type platform for KW agents. And then down here, we have a bunch of different pieces of information, different widgets. So here we have tasks. So this will show me all the things that I need to do for the day. Recent leads. So if I'm running a lead generating campaign, I can see what leads have come in. If I scroll down, I can see how I'm tracking towards my goal. So it's just a really quick way that you can stay on top of your business and know, okay, I'm 29% towards my goal for the year. Product updates. So as fixes and updates are being made to Command, they'll post about them here. So you can always check it out. Like, oh, okay, this week they, fix the payment amount field in commissions. So you just, can kind of double check to make sure that things that you may have had issues with are now getting fixed. Scrolling down the playbook. So since COVID, KWRI has done a lot of live streams and a lot of trainings and seminars on Connect. And the playbook is just going to be a couple of the most recent recorded seminars that they have. So you can always check those out. Scrolling down, we have database health. So at the core of any real estate business is going to be your database. That's where your business is going to come from. So having a healthy, strong database is going to be very important. So this just allows you to see how your database health is and compared to other agents in the market center, or you can compare to other agents in the state. All agents, one thing I think is pretty cool is you can compare to agents in production bracket above mine. So as if your goal is to start to kind of move up in price point or go to luxury or rental or vacation homes or any type of different segment, you can see what their database looks like. So you know, okay, I need to start getting phone numbers. So to the right of that is Notepad. And this is where if you just need to jot down a quick note to remember something to come back to later, you can just write it here. This isn't shared with anybody or any clients. And then on the bottom, I have designs. So one of the great features that I really like about Command is the design applet. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with Canva, but probably Photoshop. Designs basically making professional looking marketing materials super easy. There's a bunch of preloaded templates for you. You have access to all these types of images, all of these types of real estate information that's pulled in directly from FMLS. So it's a great way that you can start to position yourself as a true professional without having to spend a ton of money to have a marketing company do it for you or learn how to use Photoshop.
Or have a 14-year-old daughter who has a YouTube page and takes over your real estate page and does everything for you on Canva. I've never used it before, but if you look at my Instagram page, it looks like I'm an expert. And literally, my 14-year-old daughter does it for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I pay her $10 a week.
All right, that works. So one of the cool things about the homepage is that, yeah, so I just walk through kind of how my layout is, but you have access to all this information in these different widgets, but you can adjust it and customize it. So up in the top right-hand corner, you can click Customize Home, and you can select which widgets you want to include on your home screen. And then you can update where you want those widgets to live. So do I want leads to be at the very top? Is that what's most important to me? Or do I want design updates up here? Now you'll notice that some of these widgets are rectangles and some are squares. I don't know why, but some of them can only live on the left-hand side and some can only live on the right-hand side. So you can't move this goal versus actual to the right-hand side. So you can just kind of move things around as you want. And you can get rid of them as you want. But really the whole goal of this Command is to have built a platform that you are going to use and it's going to help your business. So this functionality of customizing your homepage is really beneficial because when you log in every morning, you'll see, boom, these are my tasks. This is exactly what I need to do today. Here are my new leads. Boom, I need to make these calls. I need to add them to drip campaigns. And you can just kind of see your business at a glance. So you don't have to go rummage through a bunch of different Excel documents or different programs. It's all right here for you on your home screen. Click apply to make those updates. All right. So I know I breeze through the widgets on the home screen. I do spend more time going through each one of these applets because these widgets are tied to another applet over here on the left-hand side. And I walk through those in more depth in this preceding take command classes. So if you're like, what exactly is tasks? Don't worry about it right now because we will talk about it in just a few moments. And I'll make sure that you know what all these different functions do and how you can best leverage them for your business. All right, so starting at the top, I kind of want to work my way from the top left-hand corner over to the right and then we'll start working our way down. So in the top left-hand corner is a red square with a My KW. You can click on that and that will expand the menu bar on the left-hand side. Just in that way, if you're like, oh, I don't know which applet I need to go to. I need to go to Smart Plans and you don't know which one Smart Plans is, you can just click on the KW and it will expand that. You can see. The next to the right of that is Command, and this is what it's what the program is going to default to when you log in the morning. Command is our CRM, our business-focused platform. To the right of that is Connect, and Connect is what I mentioned just really briefly a minute ago, but that's going to be kind of our social connectivity platform. So if you click on Connect, it'll load. Just give it a second. Sometimes it's a little slow. But you'll see that you were automatically signed in or added to two different groups. You should be added to the Atlanta Sandy Springs group and then to the Southeast group. And then you'll see here, there's a bunch of posts. It kind of resembles Facebook in a way. And the real main goal here of Connect is to kind of move a lot of the conversations and discussions and sharing that we do on mission control and move that all within the KW command platform. And Connect is a way that you can, as easy as it says, stay connected with other agents. You can share open houses, new listings, ask for information, or ask for someone to host an open house. And then you can join a bunch of different groups. So there are tons of different, I guess, breakout marketing groups that you could be a part of. So you can join a bunch of them here and it'll show your list. Connect has kind of been put on the back burner the last couple months, just to really, so that way labs can focus on getting all of the functionality within Command that is business critical up and running optimally. Connect is, they're going to start to continue to build this out more and more. So I would look for this in the near future for us to start using it more often. And then I think it'll be a great replacement for Mission Control on Facebook. And then over on the right-hand side, welcome to the new Connect. So as I mentioned earlier, Labs and KWRI are doing a bunch of seminars and trainings and different classes. All of those are hosted on KW Connect. So if you want to get there, the easiest way is to go log into Command, click on Connect at the top, and then come over here and click on kwconnect.com. And that'll open up a new browser window for KW Connect. And if you scroll down, it'll show you the class that is about to start in 3 hours. And then if you scroll down, here is the schedule for today and for the rest of the week of all the classes and trainings that KWRI is offering. And then if you scroll down, here's where I think is really cool is here is all these videos from the previous trainings on demand. So you can scroll through and see, you know, if there's any information that you're interested in. They have them all sorted over here. So if you want to know more about what's going on in tech, you can click tech and then see, all right, here is smart plans, you know, walking through Q&A with smart plans. And here's a video on getting started with your KW app, which I actually heard was a great class. So I want to watch this. So it's just a ton more information that you have at your disposal. And then scrolling down, here's more resources, skills for the shift, pivot partners, mega camp, command your business, just tons of different information that you can check out if you ever need to. And then if you ever get a request to connect with someone or referral partner, those requests will show up here. Any questions about Connect?
No, it looks like it'll be fun to use. I've never ventured over to that side, so thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely something that in the future I think we'll be using a lot more, but yeah, I agree. I think it'll be really beneficial to help us all stay connected. And then to the right of that in my screen, I have Command MC. So because I'm a part of the office staff, I have access to Command MC, but you probably won't have that. So I'm going to click back into Command. And now continuing still in the top bar, but moving towards the right. If you were on a team, like the David Lewis group, or sorry, the Lewis group, or Samantha Phillips and Company, or any other team, you will have a drop-down menu here, and you can select between yourself and the team command. If you're a solo agent like myself, you will not have a drop-down menu there. To the right of that potential drop-down is a marketplace. So I'm going to click on the marketplace icon. It's going to open up a new tab. Command was built for agents by agents, and KWRI and labs understand that there are some agents that are going to use a bunch of different tools to run their business, and that's fine. And the goal of Command is to be that one hub for multiple different tools and services. So if you use outside programs or services, you can likely connect that program to Command. So all of that information will live in one place. So that way you don't have to have a separate text messaging platform, email platform, newsletter platform. They can all connect to Command. And so you can see how all of those touches and those pieces of information work against your database in one place versus trying to pick and choose the pieces of information. And then you could also go through here and search to see if there's any tool that you may be interested in learning to use and wanting to add to your business. Most of them do cost money, but just you can spend some time clicking through here and seeing all the different options that you have. So email and marketing, so you can just see here a bunch of different options that we have. So check that out sometime if you want. We'll walk through more on the marketplace in just a moment too as we go through our connected apps. To the right of the marketplace icon is a bell, excuse me, is a bell. And this is going to be your notification center. So anytime you submit our contract for compliance review, or you request to download your contacts, you will be notified here with a red dot that there's a new activity for you to double check. So you can see here I have a red dot. I click on that and it lets me know that my buyer compliance event has returned. So I know I need to go check that out and see if Lynn or Lita had any notes for me on that. And then you can scroll down to see all your previous notifications. If you have the Kelly app on your phone, you will also receive an alert from Kelly with this same notification. So it's just another way that you can stay on top of your business while you're out and about showing homes, going on appointments. You can always stay in the know and understand what's going on with your business. All right, so to the right of the notification bell, you'll see your name and your picture if you've uploaded one. And with your name, there's a drop-down menu. In that drop-down menu, we have a profile, settings, command training, and log out. I'm going to come back to this in just a moment because we're going to spend a fair amount of time here. But to the right of that drop-down menu is a question mark in a circle. And I really want to strongly emphasize how important this is. So if you click on this question mark, this is going to be your help and information section. And this is where you can go if you are ever having issues with something, you need more information, you have a question, or command isn't working properly. That question mark in a circle in the top right-hand corner is going to become your new best friend. Because there's three types of information, well, three options you have in the help and information. The first is Keller Williams University. And Labs has gone through and they've put step-by-step guides and tutorials on every single piece of command. So if it's 11 o'clock and you can't reach me and you're trying to put together an offer and you're getting stressed, you could come here and then click on Keller Williams University and you could search your question. So I'll just search for opportunities and it's going to load all of the articles about command and opportunities. How to create an opportunity. So I can click on that and it's going to load the article right here. And it has a video so I could watch that and I can scroll down and it provides step-by-step instructions on how to create that opportunity. And this is the type of information about the entire system. So always feel free to check out Keller Williams University. Tons of information here. It's going to be a really great resource for you. And then up here, you can also click this icon for a pop-out icon, and that will take you to Keller Williams University homepage. So you can just search here as well. Excuse me. So that's KW University. The next is chat with support. So there's going to be a time where something with command isn't working properly, it's not loading, you're getting error messages, and nothing you seem to do is working. You're always welcome to reach out to me and we can set up some time to try to troubleshoot together, but you can also chat with support. And this would be you connecting directly with Labs in Austin and letting them know of the issue that you're having, and you can put in a support ticket. So if you need to chat with support, click on chat with support, and this pop-up menu is going to show up with a bot, and it's going to give you a couple options. It's going to kind of preload some potential information that you may need. You want to click get in touch, and then it'll give you two options. You can live chat or you can leave a message. Live chat will put you in a queue, and then you could chat back and forth with a live labs employee in Austin, and you guys can troubleshoot your issue together. Sometimes that may take 45 minutes.
I was going to ask that. I like it. Do they have business hours?
Yeah, so I think it's most business hours, and then probably on the weekends as well. But it'll let you know how long the wait's going to be. But what I recommend is to leave a message. And this is going to be submitting a support ticket. So if you ever reach out to me and you ask me a question, I'm like, hey, sorry, I'm unable to help you. I recommend that you submit a support ticket. I mean, leave a message. So if you click on leave a message, it'll fill out this contact form, and you'll just fill in the information as you have. So you just subject your error message, your name, your market center number, 156, region, and then a description of the issue. So that way that you can let them know exactly what's going on. And then if you are able to take a Loom video of the issues, that way they can actually see what's going on, or take screenshots, you can attach those here. And that's really helpful because that'll let them see what is actually going on with your computer and what's actually happening with Command and why it's not functioning properly.
I did have another quick question with Command. I know you said Google Chrome is best to use.
Yep.
How about operating systems like Mac versus a regular PC? Does that play any role with this at all?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so I use a Mac and it works fine. And then I know a ton of people that use PCs and it works fine for them. It really is going to be on the Google Chrome browser. You won't be able to tell a difference.
Okay.
So yeah, fill in all the information here, share as much information as possible. And then if let's say you don't have a video, screenshot, or URL, if there's ever a field that you don't have information for, just put a 0 in it, because it won't let you submit the support ticket without putting some type of information in that field, but you don't always have it. So you can just click 0. And then you would click send. And now the nice thing with the support, when you submit a ticket or leave a message, is that you will now have an email correspondence between yourself and labs. So you'll be able to go back and double check. So if you haven't heard from someone, you can respond to the email and say, hey, it's been 2 days since I submitted this support ticket. Can you please let me know what's going on? Or, oh, I'm still having this issue. Can you please help me again? And you'll have an actual support number to track your ticket, which I think is really helpful. So I would recommend always leaving a message. And let me come back here. And then the last thing in the help and information section is post an idea. Command is, as they love to advertise, is built for agents by agents. Everything in this system is intended to help you streamline your business, grow your business, and help you save money. But it's not perfect, and it's definitely always growing and building and changing. The way you run your business may be very different than the way I run my business. So there may be something in here that you need, that you're missing, that you may have had in a different system, or something that would really benefit your business that you're not finding anywhere. I highly recommend that you post that idea. So down here within the help and information section, if you click post an idea, you can submit your idea here saying, hey, I think it would be really great if we added this type of functionality that would allow me to do X, Y, Z. It would help me streamline my business and it would connect, blah, blah, whatever it is. But post your idea, and then if you have screenshots or something, you can do that. Then your idea will then go into a larger idea database where people can then vote on the ideas that they like. So someone may go through and say, oh, wow, I actually really like that idea and I can see how that would help my business. I'm going to vote on that idea. So that way it goes up to the top. So Lab starts to pay more attention to it. So much of this system has been created based on the feedback of agents. So please share your feedback. Let them know how we can make the system better. What would work well for you? What do you think would work well for other agents? Is there something going on or something that you've experienced within a transaction? You're like, oh, if I had this as a part of my command system, it would have made the transaction much better. So always include that and share that, share your idea there.
So if you do that, where's the big, I guess, all the ideas where you can go in and vote and see what people have submitted?
That I can get you that URL because it's not here in command.
Okay.
And let me write a note. So I always recommend that whenever you have any questions, you're having any issues, always reach out to me. I'm always happy to help. But if you're not able to reach me or it's something pretty simple, always check out the question mark in the top right-hand corner for KW University and chat with support or post an idea. So now that we've gone through that, I want to go back to the drop-down menu under your name. The first drop-down item is going to be your profile. And I'll click on this to show you what it is. But this is basically going to be just a bunch of information about you that you have, that you can share with buyer or our clients. Just a quick overview of yourself, especially as agents may be looking up your information, looking for referral partners. Here's some information about you. And you'll be able to go through in just a minute to update this, and I'll show you how to do that. You can edit the profile, but then we're also going to update your marketing profile in just a minute. That will help pull in this information. The next drop-down item is Marketplace, which we talked through earlier, where you can go and you can connect third-party systems and tools to Command, so that way you can have everything live within the Command system. The next is Settings. So I'm going to click on Settings, and there are a fair amount of settings to walk through, but they're pretty simple. So the first, when you click on Settings, it's going to drop you into the general settings of Command, and this is going to walk through all of your connected apps. So I'll just start at the top here and we'll work our way down. So the first is DocuSign. Last fall, KW announced that they were shifting from .loop to DocuSign as our preferred e-signature platform. So as a KW agent, you have a free DocuSign Rooms account that you can create, that you must create from within Command, and it will connect Command to DocuSign. And then one of the main benefits of that is you don't have to download all of your documents to your computer to then upload into Command. The two systems will sync, and you can upload your documents directly from DocuSign into Command. I really love DocuSign. It works well for my business. I also spend a lot of time in it, so I'm pretty comfortable with it. I do host DocuSign trainings every Friday morning at 10. So let me know if you have any questions. I also do DocuSign office hours every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 2 to 3. So if you ever have any questions about DocuSign, I'm always here to help.
Thank you.
The next is Facebook, and this is post scheduling. So there's two different types of Facebook's accounts that we're going to connect here. The first one here is post scheduling. And let's say you like to share content. You have a content calendar, and every Monday you like to share a market stat. Every Tuesday you like to post a new listing. Every Wednesday is a life hack. And you just kind of have this schedule of all the types of content you like to share. But let's say you're getting ready to go on a cruise or go on a vacation. Back, I guess, when you can start being around other people safely. But you're going to be away from your computer for a couple days. Well, you can use Command to schedule those posts to go live on those specific dates and times. So that way, your followers, they won't ever know that you're gone. They won't know that you've disconnected from your business because you've set up a whole system so you are still engaging with your database. But you're out, you're having a cocktail, you're enjoying the sun, the beach, doing whatever it is that you want to do. Now, one thing I do want to point out here is that for the post scheduling and then also for the ad manager, you have to have a Facebook business account. So if you don't have a business page set up for your real estate business, I recommend that you go ahead and do that. You'll actually connect through your personal account, and then it will pull in the business account for you here in Command. The next item is Porch, and this is it should be automatically connected for you, but it's a great tool if you need to put together an estimate for cost of repairs. So let's say if you're working with a seller and they're like, hey, we know we need to do these XYZ things to the house. How much is, can you help us figure out how much it's going to cost? Is it something that we should do before we list or just negotiate with the buyer? You can use Porch to help figure out what those repair costs would be. And vice versa, if you're working with a buyer and you go through an inspection and you want to ask for some closing costs or for some repairs, you can use Porch to figure out what those costs would be. So when you submit an amendment to address concerns, you have actual data on say, hey, we want X amount of money in closing costs because it's going to cost this amount for us to repair these 6 things after closing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The next 2 are Google Calendar and Gmail. I highly recommend that you connect both your Google Calendar and Gmail. I do want to clarify first though, is you're not sending emails in Command through Gmail. But what Command is able to do is if when you link to Gmail and Google Calendar, is that it can track all of the email correspondence from your Gmail account using your, for me, it's my KW email address and my calendar, and track all the touches and emails and invites that I have with people in my database. So it's able to marry the contacts in my database based on the email address to my activity in my email and my Gmail account. So that way, if I know I need to have 36 touches per year, Command will track all of those emails, and I can say, oh, actually, I've been emailing back and forth, and we've had 7 touches so far. So now I need to do 29 more. So it's just a great way to keep things all in one place. Another great tool is if you've been emailing back and forth, and okay, today I need to call, Billy. I haven't talked to him in 3 months. I need to make my quarterly call. You can go to that contact card. You can go through the timeline, and I'll show you this in just a moment, and see, oh, okay, we emailed back on June 2nd about a listing. All right, now I'm going to ask him when I call him, like, oh, like whatever happened to that listing? Do you still like it? Is that the kind of house you want? So you can just provide a quick refresher for you of all the content that you may, or the conversation that you want to have with that contact. The next item here is Twilio. And Twilio is a text message, a mass texting service. So from within Command, you can send text messages out to hundreds of people at a time. And we also have smart plans, which is another term for a drip campaign. And as a part of a lot of those smart plans, there is a text messaging component to it. Now, if you want to sit there and you want to manually text each person, that's fine, and you can do that, but it takes a lot of time. With Twilio, if you set someone on that drip campaign, it'll automatically send that text message to them on that designated day between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. And you don't have to worry about it. You can be out showing a home and they'll get that text message from you from that smart plan. Twilio does cost money. It is 0.0075 cents per text message up to 160 characters sent or received. So it's actually very cheap. And the way that they bill you is that they bill you $20 at one time, and that kind of puts it into like a little bank account. And then as you send text messages, they just deduct that 0.0075 cents until you get below $10, and then they will bill you $20 more. So you only pay if you use it. I do want to clarify that Twilio, if you use Twilio, you will be assigned a number. You're not able to use your own cell phone number. Now, if you use the free number, you'll receive an Austin, Texas number, but for $1 a month, you can rent an Atlanta area code. So I recommend that you do that too. Now, you have a whole database, and most of those people probably have your cell phone number, but so it may be kind of confusing when they would get a text message from you. But I love what Michael Bunch said a couple months ago was when someone asked him like, oh, did you get a new number? And he said, oh no, this is one of my business phones. And that would make sense because you're running your own real estate business, it would make sense that you may have more than one phone number. So no harm done. I do a Twilio deep dive, and there's some on the YouTube channel as well. But always let me know if you have any questions about Twilio. The next is Twitter post scheduling. So very similar to what I talked about with Facebook post scheduler. If you're a big Twitter user, you can connect your Twitter account, and that way you can set up tweets to go live in advance. Again, this is going to be organic content, so it'll just show up to the people that follow you. Moving down into productivity, PieSync. PieSync is a tool, an API service that will connect Command to other third-party tools and systems. So as I mentioned earlier, Command is built so that way it could be a hub for numerous different programs that you use to run your business. So that way you can have all of that data in one place. PieSync is going to be one of the main services that you can use to connect the systems. PieSync does cost money, and it kind of depends on how you want to sync. Because you can set up your system to constantly sync. So like every day or every 2 days, it can refresh the system. Or you can do a one-time sync where you just download all of that information from, let's say, Lion Desk into Command. And that's going to be cheaper. The next item here is Office 365. So I use Gmail as my email provider for my KW email address, but I do know a lot of people that like to use Office. You can connect your Office 365 account here, and in the same way that you'd be able to track your emails and calendar invites from in Command, you can do the same thing if you use Office. So you would just connect that there. Scrolling down, we're getting into the marketing automation. And here you'll see we have a Facebook, Twitter, and Twitter Ads Manager, and then a Google AdWords. So the difference between these items here and the Facebook and Twitter that we saw previously is that these connections are going to be for paid ads. So if you ever want to run a paid ad on Facebook, Twitter, or Google AdWords, you would have to connect your account here. The difference between organic and paid is that organic content from the post scheduler is only going to go to people that already follow you, but an ad is going to be something that you pay to boost and promote. So it's going to go to people that don't follow you. So it's going to be a great way that you can get leads. You can share a listing with people outside of your current sphere. You do have to have a Facebook business page to run Facebook ads. And then Google AdWords, if you're a big paid search user, this can be a great way that you can integrate all that into Command as well. I'm not super duper familiar with Google AdWords, but definitely let me know and we can always set up some time to build that out together. And then scrolling down, we have our last item is email services. The first one is Command Email. When it originally launched, it was MailJet, but they've rebranded to Command Email. And this is an email service that is going to be free for you. It's automatically connected for Command. All you need to do is click on Manage. And then you want to update your sender name and your reply to email. Because if you send out drip campaigns, you send out the monthly neighborhood nurture or any email blast from within Command, it'll likely use the Command email platform. So make sure this is set up with the correct information. So that way people know who is emailing them and how to get back to you. The next is MailChimp. So when Command first launched, MailChimp was our email provider. However, the way that agents use Command and emails from within Command doesn't really line well with the way that MailChimp is set up from a business perspective, because Command is all about providing personalized one-to-one information to our sphere, whereas MailChimp is about providing a single message to a huge audience. And it just, by us sending individual personalized emails, it just overwhelmed their system. But we still have that partnership with them. And as a KW agent, you get a free MailChimp account. And with that account, you can send up to 5,000 emails per month, up to 2,000 contacts per month. and you get one audience, one target audience. You can leverage both the command email and MailChimp email platforms depending on how you want. And then depending on the use or what your intention is with email, MailChimp or command email may be a better fit. But you can create a free account here and just connect it, and you're good to go there. And then if you want to click connect more apps, that will take you to the marketplace, so you can connect any more of those apps. Any questions about all of our connected app functionality here? All right. So moving on, I'm going to continue down the settings menu on the left-hand side. So we just walked through general settings. Now we're going to jump into command settings. And I'm going to click on contacts because we just walked through applications. So I'm going to click on contacts, contact archive. So we haven't gone through contacts yet to add them, but I want to point out the contact archive here. So it is a three-step process for you to delete a contact out of command. And that is on purpose because we don't want you to accidentally delete a contact and then you just lose all this information that you spent years curating and putting and building this relationship with this contact. So in order to delete a contact, you actually have to archive it. It would then put it in the archive, contact archive here, and then you'd either have to select it to restore it or delete permanently. So anytime that you have a contact that you want to delete, it's going to be 3 steps. And you'll come here to settings, to contact archive, and you'll delete or restore. Let's say you are trying to add a contact and it says that email address is already in use. You're unable to add that contact. You search your database and you're like, listen, I don't have any contact with this email address. I don't know what is happening. Check your settings and then contact archive, because what may have happened is you may have already created that contact and then hit archive because you're like, oh, I don't need this person anymore, or I want to reformat it, and you clicked archive. And now that email address is sitting in the contact archive section, and the system still registers that email address. So what you need to do is come in here and either permanently delete or restore. Right? The next is database wipe. So let's say, for instance, you just joined KW, you've been playing around adding your contacts in, and then you're like, oh no, this is really messy. I don't like the way that I set this up. I want to reorganize this and clean it up. Well, you can do that, and you can wipe out your whole database. The way you would do that is you'd come here to database wipe, and you'd click archive all contacts. That would then archive every single contact that you have in your system. Then you'd come back and you'd click delete all archived contacts. So it's making that multi-step process, so you can't just delete everybody willy-nilly. And then that would wipe out your entire database. So your database would be clean. You would lose all the work that you've done, but maybe you haven't done that much work, so it's not a big deal. But this is just a great way if you ever need to reorganize something or you make a mistake when uploading contacts, you can wipe out the entire system. The next is custom tags. And we'll talk more, this will make more sense kind of once we start walking through the contacts applet and adding contacts. But custom tags are going to be used to help manage and file your different contacts in your database. And you can have as many custom tags as you want. I recommend that you create custom tags based on how you know them, where they live, what county they live in. Are they past client? Are they a referral? Do they have a dog, a cat? Are they mom, a dad? Are they married? What college they went to? Their favorite sports teams? Anything. Because the more information that you can use to add custom tags means that you'll better be able to sort and customize your sphere based on the types of information you want to provide. So let's say you have a ton of Falcons fans and you added a Falcons tag to everyone that you know that loves the Falcons. let's say they win a big game, you could then send out a mass text or an email to all the people that love the Falcons and say, go Falcons, what a great game today. It was so much fun watching that. And yeah, it's not real estate related, but it's just another way that you're touching your sphere and you're connecting with them at a point that is important to them. Like they're a big Falcons fan and you show that you're a Falcons fan, boom, there you go. Another great example of this, Michael Bunch walked us through a couple months ago after Mother's Day, was that he has gone through and he's tagged all of the mothers in his database. So on Mother's Day, he spent 5 minutes of his time and he sent out mass text messages to all the mothers from his database saying, Happy Mother's Day. I hope you're being spoiled and loved on today. Just another great touch, letting his sphere know that he was thinking about them and that they were important to him. And he wanted to celebrate them on this important day. So you can add custom tags 2 different ways. The first way is you can do it here and you can click create a new tag and you just type in new tag. And if you wanted to give it color, you could, and you would just click create. I'm going to click cancel. Then the other way is going to be in the actual contact card, and I'll show you how to do that in a few moments. So that way, if you're adding a new contact and you think of a new custom tag you want to add, you can do it right there, and then you don't have to come back to your settings. We also have custom tags for opportunities, and they're very similar, but different. So the tags for opportunities are not going to be the same tags as your contacts. But again, I would recommend that you start to think of the parts of town that you'd want to use for a custom tag, because opportunities are going to be the actual pieces of business that you work on. So is there a specific part of town that you're focusing on? Is there a specific price point or neighborhood or type of home? Where did that piece of business come from? Was it a high school friend, a college friend? Was it a referral? Was it a past coworker? You can, again, create all of those tags. And what's going to be really beneficial is that at the end of the year, come October, November, as you start business planning for 2021, you can then pull all of your opportunity data and you can sort by all those tags. And you can say, oh, wow, I did a ton of business this year in Decatur and I didn't even mean to. Maybe I need to start focusing on Decatur, maybe farm Decatur, because it actually works really well for me. Or you can say, oh, I did a ton of business that came from open houses. I need to build open houses as one of my key strategies for 2021. So it just allows you to look back at the actual business that you ran and to help guide the business decisions that you'll make for the next year. And again, you can create the custom tag up here for opportunities, or you can create the tag in opportunities when you're creating a new one. And I'll walk through that in TC03 as well. Any questions on custom tags? As you start to play around in Command and you're starting to work in your database, start to think of all the different ways that you could group and organize your database and start to write those tags down so that way when you come into the system, you can create them. The more tags you have, as long as they're relevant, the better, because it'll really help you dissect and get very personalized with your messaging to your database. The next setting is custom fields. So custom tags are going to be ways that you can dissect and organize your database. Custom fields are going to be pieces of information that you want to know about everybody in your database. So for here, you can see I've added wedding anniversary and favorite sports teams. So these custom fields will show up every single time I add a new contact, and I can put in their wedding anniversary, and then I can type in their favorite sports teams. It's just another way that I can then keep track of more information. Now, unlike custom tags, you have to create custom fields here in settings, because then once you're in the contact card, you won't be able to create it. So if you want to create a new custom field, you can come up here to the top right-hand corner and click create new custom field. And I can, give this a custom field name, and I can say college or university, because I want to add in where they went to college here. And then you can select the different type of field that you want to have here. So you can have a text field. So if you want to type in a field, so I could type in UGA, Georgia Tech, whatever, or a text area. So if I want to be able to write a little bit more information. If I want to have a drop down with a handful of different selections, I could create that here. If I want to add a date, so let's say I want to add their wedding anniversary, or maybe their divorce anniversary, or their, I don't know, any other type of life event, their graduation date, you can include that here. A checkbox, a number, a URL, percentage, or currency. So there's all sorts of different fields that you can add here. So I'm going to create the college, university, and I want to make this a text field. Now our last option here is to make a default custom field. By making the custom field default, that means it'll show up every single time you create a new contact or you go to edit a contact. If you do not make it a custom field, then you will have to add that custom field, select it to be on that contact card. I would recommend to make it default. It just saves you a couple seconds of time and will be a reminder for you to get that piece of information. So I'm going to click Make Custom Field and then click Create. So here we are. Here's my custom field. I can always come back over here and I can edit. Anytime you see a pencil icon in Command, that lets you know that you can make an edit there. And then a trash can to the right. If I want to delete it, I can click on that. All right, moving down to opportunity settings. So design template. So this is still work in progress. So there's really not much that we can do here, but in the future, we'll be able to, design a template for our opportunity archive. So as you go through all of your opportunities, and let's say you close an opportunity, you can archive it. Again, similar to contacts, we don't ever want to delete anything because we want as much information to be within Command as possible. So when an opportunity is closed, you archive it. And then it will come here to the archive opportunities. The benefit of this is that let's say in a year or two after you close a deal, your client reaches out to you and say, hey, question about the Alta settlement statement, or can you double check the HOA disclosure or any of that information? You will have all of that information here in Command because you will have uploaded all those documents into your opportunity. And you can say, oh yeah, absolutely. Let me jump back in here. I'll just click restore on that opportunity, and then I would have access to all those documents again. In the past, we had used .loop as our main tool to submit documents for compliance, and also subsequently used it as kind of a database and storage for all of our documents. That now is all done in Command. So regardless if in 4 or 3 years KW decides to leave DocuSign to go to another platform, it won't matter because all of your documents will already be in Command. So always come to your archive opportunities if you need to go to some old data. The next is import logs, and then click on My Logs. In Command, you have the ability to import up to 5,000 contacts at one time. There is a template CSV, which I'll walk you through in just a few moments. And you can upload all those contacts at once. It'll save you a lot of time from having to manually add each one. This is going to keep track of all the contacts that you've added from import. So you can see here that on March 9th, 2019, I added 1,100 contacts. Now, if I wanted to go back, I could download that file just to double check to make sure what was on there, if there were any errors on there that I needed to fix. And it just kind of keeps track of everything for you here. So you can always go back and double check what you've uploaded. The next item here is Connect Settings. And this is going to be your marketing profile. And we're going to spend a few minutes here on your marketing profile because your marketing profile is going to be where you input a ton of information about yourself that will then be pulled into different aspects of Command. So whether it's your website, your mobile app, landing pages, designs, all that information will be pulled out of your marketing profile. So up in the top right-hand corner, we have a marketing profile Kelly guide. And the Kelly guide is just a simple step-by-step process or tutorial on filling in a specific piece of information. For me, I don't think we really need to go into a Kelly guide for the marketing profile. It's pretty straightforward. We'll just go through each one of the fields and fill in the information. But I do want to point out here where it says use my information to brand my agent site. Make sure you click that toggle so it's green, and that will give the system permission to use your information, your image, your name, license number, contact information to brand your agent website and your mobile app. If you do not select this, you will have to excuse me. If you do not select this, you will have to manually add that information every single time you want to create a new website or new page. So I highly recommend that you select this. So we'll scroll down and we'll talk through each one of the pieces of information. So the first one here is my photo and a team logo. And it's a recommended size of 360 by 360 pixels. That's a square image. And the reason they want you to have that square image is because they want to make sure that that picture will render properly within the circle. Most times throughout command and the website, your image will show up within a circle like this. And by having it in that square dimensions, it'll render properly. If you don't have a 360 by 360 image, it's really easy. You can create one on Canva, or you can create one in Designs. And I'm happy to walk you through how to do that as well. The next is a team logo. And this is going to be if you are on a real estate team or if you have branding for yourself as an agent. So you can see here, I have my Nicholas Core Real Estate Group, and this is my logo. And again, this is going to be a 360 by 360 image.
Hi, Nick.
Yes.
I have a question real quick. Do I need to put like a KW logo there, or can I just leave that?
You can leave it blank because we'll add a KW logo down in just a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you don't have a logo or you don't have a personal branding, you can leave it blank. It's totally fine.
Okay.
So scrolling down, get to my details. And this is where, you're going to put in most of your information, your name, license number, team name, professional, job title. Now, I recommend you fill in all of these fields because this is going to help, especially with GREC compliance. So on your website, if someone is there to, look at a piece of property and you want to make sure you have your full name there, your license number is always helpful. The more information, the better, because it'll just make sure that you're compliant and being upfront with visitors to your website. Now, if you have any designations or credentials, you can add those here. So I only have realtor, but if you have gone to any extra training, maybe a buyer specialist, a listing specialist, a green home specialist, any of those types of credentials, you can add those here as well. And then here we have our bio. So this is just a really quick one-sentence bio that I wrote. I would recommend you keep the bio here pretty short because this is what will be pulled in throughout the system on your website marketing profile or your website app landing pages. And there are some fields for whatever reason that only allow up to 280 characters. So I recommend you keep it kind of short here. But if you have a longer bio, I can show you how to use that as well on your website. So that way I don't want you to feel shortchanged. Scrolling down, your phone number, office phone number. Again, this is going to be required, but it's highly recommended you put the office phone number there because anytime that we have our name, we need to have Keller Williams' name, and anytime our phone number is there, we need to have the office phone number as well. It's GREC rules, so just add it here. You can also add in the fax number, your email, and your website. And now we're going to get into the market center, the brokerage. So Regina, to your question, here's where you'd want to add a copy of the Keller Williams First Atlanta logo. Again, they recommend a 360 by 360 size. If you do not have the KW First Atlanta logo, if you go to rawlsgrouphelpdesk.com, Scott Hardy has already uploaded all 6 market centers within the Rawls Group's logos into a zip file. It has the black and white version, a red version, grayscale, with background, without background, and you can have all those saved on your desktop. So I'd recommend that you get them from there. And then you could upload that here. And then we'll fill in the information on the right-hand side. So some of this should come pre-populated based on you being an agent with First Atlanta. So your market center brokerage name, Atlanta Sandy Springs, market center brokerage office number, our street address, and our license number. So you just want to make sure that's filled in there, because again, that'll always help to make sure that you are GRET compliant. Down here we have compliance. So for a legal footer, in the state of Georgia, we're not required to have any specific text that appears at the bottom of every single website. But what I would recommend is you just put your name, Realtor with Keller Williams, First Atlanta. It's just another way to make sure that you have your name and the First Atlanta name on a website as well. Again, for legal footer links, in the state of Georgia, we're not required to, but if you would like to add a link to maybe a fair housing, realtor association, or any other links to information that would be beneficial and helpful to consumers, you can add those here. And then you can also add footer images. So if you wanted to add the realtor logo, fair housing logo, maybe any designation logo, you could add those small images here, and they recommend a size of 128 by 48. Scrolling down, we have our links to our social media pages. So for me, I only really use Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I'm not a big Twitter user or YouTube. So if you add in your links here to your social media channels, then as you go through and you're creating landing pages or you're creating a website, all those links will automatically load, so you don't have to worry about copying and pasting every single time. And it's just another great way that you can, show that you're connecting with your sphere. You have a website, you have your social media pages, sharing different content. So I recommend that you add those here. And then the next items here are the Facebook pixel and Google Analytics pixel. So if you're really into paid ads and you want to have a pixel, so that way you could retarget people on Facebook that have gone to your website, you can add in your pixel ID here. And same thing with Google Analytics. If you want to track people that have been to your website across Google and serve them ads across the Google landscape, you can add in that tracking ID there. That really is going to be kind of at like a command 4.0 level, but let me know, I'm always happy to help. And then the last here is going to be your branded agent KW app link. If this isn't pre-populated for you, I can show you where to get that link. It's going to be in the consumer applet. But this you want to include here. Is that a question? All right. So you'll want to include your app link here because, again, that will show up across your website, landing pages, and you can share that. So that way, if anyone comes to your website, they can download your link or download your app right here from this link, and it already connects you as their preferred agent with KW app, and you'll be able to see all their activity in command. So once you've gone through and made all those changes and all those ads, click on save here, and that will save your marketing profile. Your marketing profile was successfully saved. Any questions about marketing profile, any of the information, or to get any of that information?
No.
All right. So the next are global settings and Command MC settings. So we won't talk through those because Command MC settings are because I'm a staff here at the office. So I'm going to go home. I'm going to click on the home icon. And now I'm at my home page. The next thing I want to do is I want to talk through adding contacts, which is going to be at the core of your database. So to do that, on the left-hand side, you'll go to the contacts icon, which is going to be your second icon down. If you roll your mouse over it, contacts will show up. And again, you can click on the KW in the top left-hand corner to expand the menu. So click on contacts. And now this is going to load all the contacts that I have. Before we kind of walk through all this information here on the page and the different settings and columns, I want to talk through actually adding contacts so that way we can, align the different information that may be useful for you setting up your view. And there's two different ways that you can add a contact. The first is you can add a contact manually, and the second is importing. We'll walk through adding a contact manually first, and then I'll show you how to import. So I'm going to click on Add a Contact. And here you just start at the top and work your way down and fill in as much of the information as possible. So I'll just type in a name. So I'll do test command email, fake email at gmail.com. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that earlier I had talked really briefly about the health of your database, and we kind of, show like, 19%, 60%. That's all based off the number of pieces of information that you include in your contacts. And you'll get a health score on each contact. The full name, email address, phone number, and home address each count as 20% score. So if you have all four of those pieces of information, you'd have an 80% health score. Then tags, birthday, home anniversary date, spouse, any of the other fields, those all add 4% each. And the goal is to have each contact at 100%. Okay. So just keep that in mind as you're adding information and the types of information you want to add. So phone number, we'll do 770-123-4567. Select owner. So if you're a solo agent, your only option is going to be me. But if you're on a team, depending on the agreement that you have with your team leader may become the owner of that contact. You may be the owner of it. So if you need to select the team, you would select that from the drop-down menu here. Now, if you want to mark as a lead, you can select that here. And the difference between a lead and a contact is a lead is someone that you don't have a relationship with, that you just met or you just received their contact information, and you're trying to build that relationship. A contact is going to be someone that one way or another, you have some type of relationship. They may in the future turn into business, but at the moment, you are really just trying to nurture that relationship. So if they're a lead, you can mark them as a lead. And you can add, if you want to add them directly to opportunities, you can add them to the sales pipeline as well. And that'll create an opportunity for them immediately. Next is tags. So remember we went through and we added those custom tags earlier, so I can go through here and I can select all the tags that I have. I can just scroll through them. So I can search, we can do Cobb County because I've selected Cobb County. I have a Smyrna one, so I can add Smyrna. Dog owner, I've added different schools. And then let's say I want to create another tag, custom tag, and I'm like, oh, this would be really great if I added, let's say, this person really likes snowboarding. So I can just type in snowboarding. It'll give me the option to create a custom tag. So I can click create custom tag. I can give it a color if I want to. I just like them to all be white, and then click add. And now I've added a custom tag directly right there in that contact. Now this contact here is going to be the only person that has the snowboarding custom tag. But what I can do is as I start to add contacts, I can add snowboarding to any relevant contact, or I could go back through old contacts and retroactively add this custom tag. Scrolling down, we'll add more information, additional contact information. So if they have another email address or another phone number, you can add that here. And then here is their address. If you want to add someone to a monthly neighborhood nurture or a bi-monthly neighborhood nurture, they need to have their address or neighborhood in their contact card. So be sure to add that information here. So just start typing it in. So I'm going to type in my home address. And it automatically loads. And then I would click save, same as mailing address. If you ever are going to do a flyer or you want to print out mailing labels from within Command, it'll print out the mailing address. So you want to select this icon here. You can also add their Facebook profiles or any other social media profile. You can see Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google+, Snapchat. You can add all sorts of profiles here. And this is going to be really helpful. So let's say if one day you want to do a paid Facebook ad and you want to target your database, you have to have two pieces of information or one of two pieces of information to target them on Facebook. You have to have the same email address that that person has that they use for their Facebook page, or you have to have their Facebook URL. And that is how Facebook will sync to that contact in Command. So here, if you just start typing in, it'll show Nick Facebook.com that I just posted or used my Facebook URL. And if I wanted to, I could add my Instagram here. And you get 4% health score for every single social media platform that you add. Now, this may take some time on the front end, but it will be really beneficial in the long term to have as much information in here as possible. We're going to click on About. And here, if you want to put in their legal name, if they have a different name or description, you want to put a little something in there about them, like I know him from swimming in college, whatever, you can put a little note there. Birthday, you can add their birthday. Now, if you don't know the year of someone's birthday, I recommend that you just use the current year. Now, I obviously know that this is my birthday, that I was not born in 2020, but it allows me to at least have the correct day. So if I want to ever set up someone on a birthday smart plan, it has the exact day so it knows when to launch that campaign. Home anniversary, whether they're your old client or not, you can add in their home anniversary. You can always check Realist or tax records. And that's going to be helpful information to keep in mind because we know that people that are around that 5 to 7 year mark is usually when most people move. So if you have someone's home anniversary and they're approaching the 6 years and say, you can just be like, hey, I know you guys have been in your house for a while. Are you interested in knowing what the neighborhood's like, considering selling? It just gives you a reason to reach out to somebody. So you can add that. So let's, let's do September 27th, 2017. Then you can also add relationships. So you can add their spouse, their father, mother, son, daughter, sibling, parent, all sorts of different relationships here, partner, other. And you can do that one of two ways. So you can just start typing in someone's name. So you can just type in. Perfect. And then you can select that person. Or let's say, I'll just Ronald McDonald. So I don't have a Ronald McDonald in my database. I can just type in the full name and click add. And it is now added Ronald McDonald to my database as my spouse. Let's do business partner. And then if you want to add more, so if you want to add their mother, father, especially if they're close family friends, you can add them all in here. Next, you can add this contact's work name. So you can just start typing in work. So I can type in Keller Williams. Now, if they don't have the name in there, you can click create company. And again, you can just add their company right there, job title, realtor. You can add in the address if you want to, you don't have to. Sales pipeline. So if you want to add them to the sales pipeline into an opportunity, you can click the stage, captured or connected, and you can select lead source, select from list, or select from contacts. So if you want to say, oh, I got this lead from Facebook, perfect. You don't have to. And then the next one is custom. So remember, I showed you the difference between or adding a custom field. So this is what I mean. If you select that custom field as being default, it automatically shows up on that contact card. So I could add in this contact's wedding anniversary. So let's do November 4th, favorite sports team. I can put Atlanta Falcons. College university, I can put University of Georgia. And then if I had another custom field that I didn't set as default, I could click Add Custom Field, and I would be able to select from the drop down of another custom field. So once I've gone through here and I've added all this information, I'm going to click Create. The phone number field is invalid. So let me scroll up to the phone number field. So let's do 41. I'll just make up a phone number. I probably recognize that as being fake. All right, let me click Create. Perfect. So now I've added, I think it was fake, our test, here we go. Test command is the contact that I just made. Oh, wow, so I have a health score of 100%. That is very unusual, but you can see here the name, all the different custom fields, the contact information, lead source. Now, because I added this contact's home address, it automatically assigns them a neighborhood. And as I mentioned earlier, if you ever want to put them on a monthly or bi-monthly neighborhood nurture, they need to have a neighborhood. But let's say this person lives in Forest Hills, which is where I live, but you talk to them and they're like, oh, I really want to move to Brookhaven. Well, you can add a neighborhood and you could type in Brookhaven. And then I could add Brookhaven to their neighborhood list. And let's say maybe they're also interested in Midtown. We'll do Midtown East by the park, and also Decatur. All right, we'll select La Vista Acres in Decatur. So now this contact has 4 neighborhoods. So whenever you send them out that monthly neighborhood nurture or bi-monthly, it will include information for Forest Hills and these 3 additional neighborhoods. So you just need to make sure that they have a neighborhood before you assign them to that neighborhood nurture. And if you want to ever see a preview of what that smart plan would look like, which I know is kind of is Take Command O2, but you can click on this preview link here. And this is going to be more or less the exact information that'll show up in that smart plan. So it's going to show all the information, all the activity for La Vista. What is this? La Vista Acres. Now, one thing that we're still working through with Command is that because we have Georgia MLS and FMLS, it shows the same house, shows the listing twice from both MLSs. Labs is working on how to mitigate that. But then your contact can click through the different neighborhoods that they're interested in to see all of the activity that's going on in that neighborhood. Scrolling down, see here, we have their address, mailing address. You can click on their social profiles, description, birthday, relationship, Ronald McDonald, and it added Ronald McDonald to my contact list. So now I could click directly into Ronald McDonald's contacts. Over on the right-hand side, we have our timeline, and this is going to show all of the activity that's gone on for this contact. Now, because this is a brand new contact, there's not a ton. But I'll show you, let me show you my contact. Here we go. So if you come over here to the timeline for mine, because I use this for all my tests or all my trainings, you can see here's all the activity from my mobile app. Here's an email I was sent, subscribing to Monthly Neighborhood Nurture. Here's a calendar invite for meeting at Starbucks. Activity in the app. So you can just see that text messages sent back and forth. This timeline keeps track of all the activity that you have with that contact. So before I would ever go and give this contact a call to touch base, I can just quickly scroll through and say, oh, okay, I remember we sent this text message back and forth. Perfect. Here's a note that he really likes pizza. So when I call Nick and say, hey, just want to touch base, how's it going? Have you had any good pizza lately? Any places you recommend? And then you can break out each one of these activities based on date range. So if I want to look for a specific time, or all activity, if I want to look at just outgoing text messages, I can select outgoing text messages and it will filter just by those. If I want to view calendar, it'll pull up my Google Calendar that I have linked. Then I also have opportunities here. So if I click here, it'll show all the opportunities, or the sales pipeline that I have, all the activity I have with this contact. Smart plans, it'll show all that smart plans that this person is subscribed to. Tasks, so any tasks that you set up, which we're going to walk through tasks in just a moment. You can see all those here. Notes, so if you add any notes about this person, about the conversation, I recommend that anytime you talk to them or if you see them out, add a quick notes, and that way, again, you have that as a refresher. Ran into so-and-so at Publix. They said they were having a good summer, whatever. And then last is going to be saved searches. So if that contact makes a profile on your website or downloads your mobile app, it'll show you all their saved searches here. So it's just another great way that you can kind of see what they're doing in terms of what they're looking for and how for houses, and be like, oh, hey, I saw you, set up another search for Brookhaven. Are you still interested in La Vista Acres? And then in the bottom right-hand corner, there's this plus sign. So if you ever want to click on plus sign, you can add an add activity. So if I wanted to, have an interaction, let's say we had a meeting, a call, text, a quick note, something that wasn't captured by command, I would add that here. You can add a date and description. So that way, again, this is how you're going to keep track of all those touches that you have. So then when you call them or see them again, boom, you have you can remember exactly what happened, what was said.
So really quick, Nick, would you suggest like adding when you take them out for showing?
I mean, for me, probably not. If it works well for you, but I would imagine, like, if you're working with someone and this is a buyer client, I wouldn't need to know that we are setting up showings, because they're already in the sales funnel. But let's say you have a contact and they're like, hey, I'm really early on in the home buying stage, but I'm curious about this part of town, or I saw this new construction. Would you mind showing it to me? That might be a good opportunity to then write a note and say, hey, met Susan at new construction off of whatever. She's thinking, 6 months from now, she wants to talk about it, but she really loves this part of town. That might be a great note to put, because you're not going to be seeing her every single day. And in a couple months, you say, hey, Susan, remember when we went and looked at those new townhomes? Are you still thinking of moving to Midtown?
Okay, got you. And one more quick thing.
Yeah.
In reference to putting in their names and phone numbers, addresses, and all of that as a contact, would you recommend putting a couple separately for the sake of DocuSigns?
Yes.
Okay, so put the Mr. like Nicholas Cage and then Michelle Cage separate.
Yep.
Got you. Okay.
Now from the relationship, if I scroll down, where is that relationship? Where does it show up?
Oh, I see it. Well, no.
It was here earlier. I don't know what. Let me click refresh real fast. I don't know why I'm not seeing it. Marcus leads. Oh, you know why? Oh, because I'm the wrong one. If I go, here we go. So this is the contact that I just made a couple minutes ago. And if you scroll down here, it shows the relationship. So if you added Nicolas Cage and then you set the relationship to Susan Cage, it would show here so that they would show it as connected, which
Right.
then when you go to create an opportunity, it will ask you if you're going to have a co-buyer or a co-seller. It'll pull up that other the spouse or partner or whoever that relationship is.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
There.
I like the more information you can add, the better. Now you don't have day one, you don't have to go through and add every single spouse and anniversary, but over time, I would recommend that you add it.
Okay.
Well, also in the bottom right-hand corner, if you want to add a note, so a note could be anything, like we was just talking about of like, oh, went and met her at these new townhomes, or you want to write a note based on the conversation you just had if you called and caught up. And then if you want to add a calendar invite, this will pull up my Gmail or my Google Calendar, and I can set up, you know, coffee with Susan, and I can, you know, it'll automatically load in their email here. And I can add a location of Starbucks, you know, and I can click save, and that'll automatically add that to my calendar. And it'll also log that in command as an event.
Okay.
So again, there's tons of options. There's so much that you can do with command and the information that you can provide. One recommendation that I have, and this is what's worked well for me, is that I do a lot of my updating of command profiles based on birthdays. So as a part of my business, I like to send out birthday cards, handwritten birthday cards, letting people know that I'm thinking about them, and I post on their wall. So what I do as I'm going through everyone's birthday, and I kind of about like a week in advance, I double check their address, their Facebook, and that I use that as a way to manage making updates to my contacts.
Okay.
It's usually about like on every single day, I would, you know, probably write 3 or 4 birthday cards, and 3 or 4 contacts is manageable for me to go through and say, okay, what's all that information, and start to build out that contact card for them. So if you can find a system that works well for you, that way you can at least get everyone's information in command, maybe set some people up on some smart plans, and then you have a system on how you're going to go through and really build out all those additional details that will be beneficial.
Okay.
So just so you know, something to keep in mind. So we just walked through manually adding a contact into command. Any questions about that?
No.
All right. So I'm going to go back to contacts. The next way to upload or to add contacts is to import them. And if you want to import contacts, click on the import button here, and this pop-up will show up, and it will say download the pre-made CSV to upload into KW command system. So if you download this, I'll just click download. It's going to download an Excel CSV document. CSV stands for comma separated values. And the reason I share that is because as you are adding contacts information to this CSV, you have to remove all commas. Because the way that the system works is that by using a comma separated value, it'll automatically input commas in between each column of information. And command knows that column 1 equals first name, column 2 equals last name, column 3 equals address, column 4 equals phone number. And so if you have any commas in there, it'll mess up the order of the columns so the information will not upload correctly. Another great thing about the CSV is it's already pre-made for you, so it has all of the columns of information that you can upload, and then just fill in as much of that information within each one of those columns as possible. If you have any questions about setting up your CSV, let me know. I'm happy to walk through that with you. Usually once you do it one time, it's pretty easy. But this way you can add up to 5,000 contacts at once.
Okay.
And then one last thing I want to show you really quickly is over here to the right of add contact, there's 3 dots. If you click on that, it gives you 3 options: export all contacts, export mailing labels, and export mailing labels as PDF. Within the last 2-3 months, Labs has now offered the ability to export all contacts. So if you need to export them for whatever reason, let's say if you need to create another Excel document, or you want to create mailing labels or anything, you can export them. If you want to do that, just click on Export All Contacts. And it says your export is being processed. Then once that export is complete, you'll get a notification up here. And see, it says your contacts export is complete, and I can click on it and it will download that document. And I would also get a Kelly notification, which I just got, and it says your full contacts export is complete, which I don't know if you can see that, but I got that Kelly notification as well. So just know that you always have that ability to export all those contacts. So now that we've added our contacts, we can set up our view of those contacts. So we can customize the various columns that we have here and the information that we look at. So if you want to do that, you can click on Customize Columns. And very similar to that, setting up the widgets on the home screen, you can select all the pieces of information that you might want to have as an available column. And see, it even adds the custom fields that we added. Then you can reorder how you want those columns to appear. So you can just go through and figure out what works well for you. So I'm going to put date of birth in there because that is an important field for me. Primary email, perfect. And then I'll come down here and I'll click update. And now you can see it has rearranged the order of these tags for me. So now I have my own customized view. Another thing that you can do if you want to customize, well, I guess real fast, it's going to default to list view, but if you want to look at more information, if you click on the widget view, this will just show you a little bit more blown out field for each one. And it's going to default to showing you only 10 contacts at a time. If you click on show 1 through 10, you have the opportunity to select 25 to 50 contacts. And then this will just show more contacts at once.
Okay.
Let's say you want to filter. Let's say you were like, oh, you know what? I want to send a text message out to all the mothers, or you want to send, just one group of people. You can click on filters. And you can come over here to custom tags, and you can search whatever custom tags you want. Custom tags is, for me, the most simple way to filter out my contacts, which is why I think it's really important that you have a bunch of them, because it's going to be the easiest way for you to organize your database. But you could also organize them on the last time I visited, their birthday. So if you want to search for someone whose birthday is within the within the next 7 days, I can do that. And then click apply. And it looks like I do not have any birthdays in the next couple days. So let me remove that. And I'm going to come up here to my tags, and I'll go back to mother, click apply. And now you can see I have showing 1 through 50 of 107 contacts that I have in my database that are mothers. So I could send them an email, a text message, do anything that I want. So, and if I want to do that, if you click on one of the contacts, or you can select on this button up here in the dark menu bar, this drop-down menu that says select bulk action appears. And a bulk action means anything that you're going to do to numerous contacts at once. So you can add a note, archive, send a text, add a tag, add to an email list, share contacts, send bulk SMS. So you just have a lot of different options here. Add a smart plan. So that's why it's really important that if you set up those custom tags, that I can now organize, and I can now do something to all 107 mothers in my database specifically for them, and I can share content that's just for them. You know what else I could do? I could go through and the week before Mother's Day, I could send a text message to all the fathers and say, hey, don't forget Mother's Day is coming up on Sunday. Don't forget to get the mother of your children a gift or something. It's another way that you can think about it. If you go through here and you go through filters and you, let's say you always filter, you want to filter, you know, something specific all the time. So you have your filter. For now, I'm going to leave it on mother, click apply. I can come here to Smart View. And what I can do is I can create a Smart View based on all the filters that I have. So if I really easily want to log in and just look at my mother's, I can click Create Smart View, and I can name this Mother's and click Save Smart View. All right. So I can just go to all, let's say when I log in, normally it's going to default to my Smart View All Contacts. But I'm like, oh, yep, I need to look at my mother's. I can come right here and click Smart View Mothers. And it's going to automatically filter and show me those 107 mothers that are tagged with that custom tag. So you can go through here and you can create numerous Smart Views if there are different ways that you want to look at your information regularly. And it's easier for you to go ahead and do this versus filtering every single time. Any questions about contacts? Anything you want me to show again? Anything you have questions on?
No.
All right. So the next thing we're going to walk through is tasks.
Okay.
So tasks are going to be the third icon down. Click on the KW in the top left-hand corner. Click on tasks. And tasks are going to serve, well, we have two different types of tasks and they serve multiple purposes. We have contact tasks and we have opportunity tasks. Contact tasks are going to be our tasks that we need to do for a specific opportunity. Excuse me. They're going to be for a specific contact. So if I need to prepare for a call that I'm going to have with them, or if I need to send them a note or send them a thank you card, I can create a task for that contact. And so I can come over here and I can click Create New Task, enter name. So I do send thank you note. I can give this an all day, or I can say it's due by a certain time. Give it a due date. So let's say by Friday. Enter description. Say, write a thank you note for the long phone call the other day. If I need to add a hyperlink, I can. And now I want to add this to, I want to assign a specific contact with it. So I want to associate contacts. And I can come here and I can search test command. And I'll click on add contact. And then click associate contact. So now I've created this send thank you note. I'm going to get a reminder on the 28th. So actually, no, I'll just set that to today. So that way it shows up, and click create task. So I'm just going to really quickly, I'm just going to jump to the home screen because I want to show you how when I log in, see, it shows that I need to send a thank you note for test command contact, and it's due today. So that is how I remember. Oh, perfect. I know I need to write that. It's due today. You can go back and you can look at your completed tasks, your archive tasks. Actually, I need to sort by last 30 days. So it shows all tasks. Past due. So tasks are going to be are there so that way you don't have to remember every single thing that you have to do. You don't have to have a to-do list. If you go ahead and you set up those tasks, command will remind you when you log in every day what you need to do. Similarly to contact tasks, we have opportunity tasks, and this is where the system gets really interesting and I think can really streamline your business for you. So if you go to opportunity tasks, and we'll talk a little bit more about this in TCO3, but as you move a contact or a lead through the sales funnel, you'll have different activities that you need to do to nurture that relationship based on where they are in the sales funnel. You can set up command to remind you of those tasks automatically. So that way, if you know, oh, I have an appointment, to go on a buyer's consultation, you move that person to the appointment, command will say, hey, you have an appointment tomorrow. You need to prepare your buyer's consultation deck. You need to prepare your preferred vendors list. You need to maybe pull some listings for their desired neighborhoods. It'll remind you to do all those things for you. So that way, when you log in, oh, yep, I need to prepare for my buyer's consultation tomorrow. Perfect. And that's what you do for the day. We'll spend a lot more time in this in TCO3, but it's just a great way for you to manage your business and manage those relationships without having to keep a bunch of stuff in your head or keep a long to-do list. And again, you can show your past due, any tasks that you have for the next week. So if you want to get ahead of yourself or get ahead of your schedule, past 30 days. So, and then once something is done, you can click on it and check it, and that will complete task. Or you can come over here and you can snooze it. So if you want to hit snooze and you want to push this back a few days, or you can snooze until a specific date. I want to snooze until tomorrow. Click snooze. Or you can delete it. So I can click on delete, and that will delete that task permanently. So tasks are really simple. You just have the two different types, contact and opportunity. But it's just a great way to help you keep track of the steps and business activities that you need to do to move your business forward. Any questions about tasks? It was really simple and to the point.
No questions.
All right. So that is Take Commando 1. We just walked through a ton of information in terms of the system, going through settings, marketing profile, adding contacts, and tasks. Anything that I can show you again, you need more information on before we go this morning?
Nothing right now
Uh-huh.
based on what I've seen.
All right.
Thank you so much, Nick.
Yeah.
That's very helpful.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining. And as you start to play around in Command, please reach out to me with questions. I'm always here to help you. I'm always here. You can send me a text, give me a call, email. We can always set up one-on-one time too. So if you want to spend a little bit more time going over something in depth, we can schedule that as well. So.
Thank you so much. Great job.
You're very welcome. You all have a great rest of your day. I'm going to post this to the KW First Atlanta YouTube channel, and I'll include it on the email I send out on Friday as well. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too. Thanks.